Counselor Accents Podcast. Two school counselors who love their jobs. Oh, and they happen to have Southern accents too. Bless their hearts.
Welcome to our podcast. I am Kim Crumbly.
And I am Laura Rancourt. And together we are
Counselor Accents.
And let's go ahead and address your headgear.
Oh,
You forgot.
I noticed.
It is Kim's birthday
It is
today.
my
It's a special episode of Kim's birthday podcast.
I want it to be all about me
Okay?
and my birthday.
It is every day.
Thank you. Thank you. I am 52. I am not old enough to be her mother. Okay, I am.
No.
But don't ask. Do you remember when we were speaking in Boston and somebody said, "Oh, they're so cute together. They must be mother and daughter."
Yeah.
That
Sorry.
was painful. But anyway, yes, I am having a wonderful birthday.
Good.
My students met me at the door with Jack's biscuits.
Oh, yum.
Yes.
Jack's isn't everywhere. That's kind of an Alabama thing. Did you know that?
How about Tennessee?
Nope.
Alabama.
Yep.
You cannot, kind of like when I'm up in the northern lands, I see a lot of Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's not in Alabama. You don't see a lot of those in Alabama.
No.
Not like there, I meant.
Yeah.
So anyway, yes, it was my birthday, and then I had like "Happy Birthday" sang to me, and I tried not to make it a big deal. I mean, I
That
know
surprises me.
I know doing this all day
Yeah.
and this. They have thought,
But otherwise, no,
other than
not a
that,
big
if
deal.
they didn't pick it up. Okay, I'm holding up a sign that says "Happy Birthday, birthday girl."
Okay. Well, since it is her birthday today, we are going to talk about fun things. This is probably the most fun podcast we've ever done. It is all about one of my favorite things. So let's make it about me for a minute.
It's one of my favorite things too.
Okay, one
so
of
it's not
our
even gonna
favorite
be up here.
things.
Okay.
Playing games. I love games. I've always loved games. I grew up in a family that doesn't play games.
And I grew up in a family that we play games. In the winter, we have game night at least once a week. Now.
Okay, I'm coming to your house.
It's a big deal at our house is the game night. And but I think you play games with your girls now.
I do because I am training them to be
play games.
my playmates.
Yeah.
Because, I need somebody to play games
Play
with.
games with. I love games. I mean,
too.
I will even say I will enjoy a good Candyland game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't have to be a lot of thinking involved. I think that may be why. I like games that I don't have to think a lot. So,
Well,
it's a lot of fun.
It is. And we are going to talk about how to incorporate games into your counseling program. We're going to talk about all the benefits to your students, the benefits to you as a counselor, and then we're going to talk about, just give some ideas on different games that we use and how we use them. So, you ready?
I am ready to dig on into this thing.
All right.
This is fun.
Well, let's jump in and let's talk about the benefits that games provide to your students. So, I know you play a lot of games with your students. What are some of the top benefits you see your students receiving from games?
Well, I tell you, I accidentally kind of ran over this with some students that had all lost a parent. And so I think this is the biggest benefit that I've seen. And I am a school counselor, so we have mental health therapists for therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was not there to be a therapist for them, but I knew that I had several students who had lost a parent over the last 2 years. So it was fresh, and I wanted them to know they were not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I played around with some things that we could do together, but I tell you, they know now, this has been going on for 2 years, and these kids are still together, and when a parent dies, I feel like it's on remote. They just handle it.
Oh, wow.
They'll bring a kid into the fold and they play games. That's what that's what it's about. But I have watched them. Sometimes I play with them. Sometimes I don't play with them. But the biggest thing that I learned from that is sometimes just being around people who have experienced the same thing as you and bond together over something that's fun, where you can laugh and it's just been the best experience. So I think I learned from that, putting kids together, even if you're not the therapist, if you have kids whose parents are in jail, and they figure those things out in that bonding around that game. And
you never have to say a word.
I never have to say a word. And really, they don't talk about that. They know that.
Right.
And it's just been really, really sweet to see the power of, and that's why I just keep adding games, and they love it. They love it.
Well, and it probably goes back to what you said when we were talking in the opening about how you just like to get together and not really think. And their minds are probably already saturated with the sadness and the loss and everything. And so just to be able to escape from that reality, not think about it, that's probably a huge benefit.
It's been wonderful, because there are some things that I feel are out of my scope of, and just that's enough. Sometimes bonding with other people who are going through something like you're going through, and bonding over these games, board games, it's wonderful. Yeah. So I think that's the biggest thing. What is the biggest thing that you have gained or learned about in using the games?
I love watching the teamwork happen.
Yeah.
I love seeing the more, let's just say, popular students, like maybe the older popular students, root for the younger ones that maybe don't have a lot of confidence. And then all of a sudden, you see the little ones just kind of awaken that somebody is building confidence. Yes, and somebody's cheering them on. So I love just watching the teamwork aspect of it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's not about competition. It's just about everybody working together.
Yep, absolutely. That's a lot of fun. So I think that what you're using it for, what you've learned is so great, because that's a big part of it. So another thing is, it's something that you can do with your little bitties too. Your little chutes and ladders of your Candyland. I think those are good games to have on in your shelf, because you have kids with different levels. But I did tell you, I really do. My older kids still love Candyland. That's funny that and it gets competitive. It's a lot of fun. But we know, and one of the things that I have shared with you before is when we register kindergartners, I have been told by the people who register that one of the things that they have seen is the lack of language, that the kids just don't have the language skills that they used to have, and they just don't know if the parents are actually talking to them as much as they do. So sitting around Candyland or something, you're actually building language skills with those little ones. So that's a bonus, is the academics part of that we benefit from that.
That's true. I think something else is it teaches students not to be competitive, but to try to achieve something. There is a winner in most games. And so it teaches them to strive for more. Maybe students that just kind of fly under the radar all of a sudden say, hey, I can do this. I can win. And so it teaches them to go for it.
Yeah. Another benefit of games is reviewing lessons. I like a lot of times to review what we've learned. And if the kids know, and I tell you, their favorite review game, bar none, for me has been Zonk. They just go insane. I played Zonk in here. I had 32 kids and divided them in half. And it's one of those, if you get zonked, you don't know when it's going to happen. So it just builds to this feverish pitch. My kids were so loud in here. They were just screaming. They were so excited. And so they're learning and not really, you're getting that information in and they want to know it, and they're giving you back that I do know this.
Yeah.
But we're playing a game. So I love review games of any kind
That's a good point.
excite the kids, and they're going to pick up what you're trying to teach them.
Yeah. And as far as board games, I know that the use of technology, while it's important and it's necessary, there is concern about technology addiction and students just not putting the iPad down. I know my own girls, they're 5 and 3, and when we get home, they want to pick up the iPad. And if we would let them, they would watch it for hours, like all night they'd watch it. And I think board games gives kids a chance to unplug and sit and interact with people, like you were saying about the language skills.
Yeah.
But if we put that technology down, and then all of a sudden maybe they think, and I know my older daughter, she'll ask now, "Can we play a game?" instead of can I look at the iPad?
Yeah,
So
because and making time for that. But my kids love them. Yeah, they know that I'm a big gamer, so they'll come in here and want to play all the time. I have to set up boundaries, like only on this day does this do y'all come, or this day do y'all come, because we love to play games.
now you know a gamer is a video.
Well, it is,
Let's
but not.
clarify.
I will say that my principal says he's a gamer, but he's not he just loves gaming, like
These games or
like competitive games. So yes, I know when I said it, it does sound like that, but
I'm like, we're not talking about video games.
okay, I am old. Look at this. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, and you touched on this when you were talking about Zonk, but let's talk about the benefits that games give us as the counselor. When you were talking about Zonk, you said that it's a great tool to review,
Yes.
to use for reviewing,
Yes.
and the
I don't
students
know why
are
I'm
learning.
screaming. Yes. Yeah. Very
Because
excited
it's your
all of a sudden.
birthday.
It is
You can do
my
whatever you want.
birthday. Yes. Okay.
But the students were learning and reviewing, and they didn't even know that they were soaking in that.
I
extra
know. Yeah.
material,
Yeah. So
tricking
that is
them.
that's a great benefit. That's true.
I think also though you get to observe the dynamic between the students. You get to see who is taking that leadership role, like you were talking about in your unofficial grief group,
right.
who is taking on the leadership role and who are they taking under their wing.
And they will. Somebody, that's just how the dynamics of that works. You can see who the followers and the leaders and the bossies and the sore losers, and you get to see all the dynamics of those students when you're doing that. My little boy is over in this area entertaining us. So, anyway,
we need to do it behind the scenes.
we do, so they can see what goes on when we're doing this.
And you
School is
see why
over.
we're tickled.
We're
But
here. I know it. That's why sometimes you don't know why we're laughing.
because we laughed very inappropriately when we were talking about a grief group. Like we got this smile on our face all
Why?
of a sudden because we were being entertained.
Oh, that's true. So,
And so I
anytime
just
we
feel like-
smile in yeah, he just
flushed. He's
That's what-
finished.
It's in my room. He's finished, but he thinks he's being very discreet, which is so cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back
to this. All right. So sometimes do you feel like you could just kind of take a breather and let the kids play?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Well, yeah, because you can observe, and it's like when you're doing a lesson or when you're doing a small group, it's like you have to be on 100%.
right. Yeah.
And so just letting the kids play while you observe, you just kind of get to rest.
Yeah.
You're still doing
And
your
let
job.
them do. A lot of times we need to let the kids work things out, and
That's
and
true.
you can back up and
Don't be a
just,
helicopter counselor.
okay. That's a new you right here. You heard a
You just
new
learned it.
term coined. It's
Yeah.
gonna be.
It's going to be huge.
It's gonna be huge.
Hashtag helicopter counselor.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So what are some of your what games do you love right now?
Well, can we talk about a few more things about benefits?
Oh, I
Yes?
can't wait to get into the games.
I
But yeah,
know.
let's talk about the benefits.
Okay. I think that it helps you see like sore losers, but also sore winners. You can
Oh
observe
yes, the sore
attitudes.
winner. The sore
Yeah,
winner.
and that's something that you have to address. My little girl, my older daughter, I'm not joking. She wins Candyland every time. We do not let her win. I want her to lose so that she'll know
learn
what
that
it
she's
feels
not
like.
gonna lose it.
But she wins every stinking time.
And
we're-
you're stuck over there in gumdrop land.
Yes, but yeah, but sometimes she is a sore winner, and so we have to, just like with our students, we have
Yeah.
to walk them through. Okay, let's don't gloat.
Yeah, absolutely. And this goes back to I think this was really prevalent. I'm going to say maybe 15 years ago, and I may be wrong. It may still be very prevalent, but there was a time where we couldn't have a winner in education.
Yeah.
It had to be everybody was a winner. And I had a real problem with that when I was a teacher, because nothing would make parents angrier than their child didn't win.
Oh,
So I think I've seen a shift further away. I think that we begin to realize as a society that everybody gets a trophy, everybody's a winner, wasn't necessarily best for the kids. So,
Sorry for that generation that we guinea pigged that on.
but it is really the generation that my oldest son would have been in, that generation. And I was teaching during that time, and you know, you can have a winner.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just horrible. Everybody had to win. And so I hope we're getting away from that. I mean, I think we are. I really do think that we are getting further away that. But it is hard to deal. It is something that kids need to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not learning it at home, they need to be learning it with us. So anyway, that's just, I think, an important lesson. And we use it as our, we do the 20 essentials, 20 essential rules. And one of those rules deals with winning. Okay. So if you win or lose, how you act is one of those 20. So that's gone over all during the year.
And just so you know what she's referencing, her school took the Essential 55 by Ron Clark and whittled it down to the Essential 20.
20, and then that can change up. But we wanted to get 20 in and then look and see, make sure we had those down before we keep
adding. We can talk about that.
Yeah, sometime. But that's one of them, winning and losing. This is a good place to learn appropriate. So
let's get into the games.
Okay, finally.
All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about are our Icebreaker games. And this is from a game called Fibber. And I didn't have this game, but Kim called me one day and said, "Oh my goodness."
I think I FaceTime her.
Yeah, probably.
Look.
And she said, "Oh my goodness, you have to get this game."
I see why. And you say why. My kids love this game. I'm really not sure the benefits of teaching children to lie, but it is so much fun. We laugh so hard when we play this game. So anyway,
I want you to tell them how you use this in counseling.
Okay, I will. The game itself is kids. They have to decide if they're telling the truth or not, and that's how your nose grows. If you don't get by with the lying, if they have figured out you're telling. So it's a lot of fun, and it's got some reasoning and some thinking, and you're learning some things with that. But anyway, I have used it in my counseling when I've had a kid come in, and they might be upset, but I'm not talking about upset because there's a major problem. It's just those little things, gnat-sized problems we call them.
Yes.
And I have actually put my head down. If they're missing their mother or something, I'll put my head down and come up and have this.
And who can keep a straight face?
And it has never failed. And I will just talk to them. I'll just keep talking to them like,
and for those
they
of you
not laugh.
Yeah. For those of you who are listening and not viewing this, just to give you a mental image, Kim has on these glasses with about 6 colored dots on the end of her nose.
That is sticking out about 6 inches, so
yes.
like Pinocchio.
Yes, and it's worth taking a gander at our show notes because we'll try to put a picture there. That's worth it.
Yes. So anyway, I love because it's just funny.
It is funny.
The kids love it when they're playing that and have those noses on.
My favorite Icebreaker game is Who Knew? I use it pretty much with every small group I start.
Yes.
Now, I haven't played it in a year because it's not small group time yet.
Right. So
but
you'll be getting cranked up on the Who Knew.
But the kids love it. And there's a person in your group called a Who's It, as in, who's it?
Okay. Get it.
Okay. And so they pick cards. It's similar to apples to apples.
Okay.
But you're picking through cards like Singing in the Car, American Cheese, Google, Root Beer. And I have to think about the person that's the Who's It, Kim in this case. What do I think Kim would like most?
And I will tell you yes. You just guess, and then I'll tell you so.
Singing in the Car. Bing, 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 bing. Do I know her? Do I know her? My next guess would have been American Cheese.
And I love American cheese.
But it allows students to learn a lot about each other. And then there are these tokens and you get tokens for the different ones that you get correct. And my kids,
It's kind of like I used to use life stories.
Yeah.
But this has replaced my life stories. I
Okay.
think it's more
the kids
fun.
love it. They
Mhm.
just get to know each other, and then when they leave, they're bonding over American cheese, for crying out loud.
We both loved American cheese. I didn't know that.
That reminds me of a story. May I share?
Sheesh.
It's just funny to me how kids can bond over the funniest things.
Tell me. It does sound relevant, so
okay.
I will allow it.
Okay, thank you. I had a student who enrolled as a foster child in kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
So he came in, and just the look on his face, you can imagine, just the worry and, tears your heart out. In fact, I cried a little.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just kind of worried about him. And then by lunchtime, he came with another student to do an office errand. And they said, "Miss Rankhorn, guess what?" I said, "What?" The kid that was our student said, "Me and him's got the same underwears on." And so these students and he had the biggest smile on his face. These students
wonderful.
had bonded over
the
having
same
the same
underwear.
underwears.
That is the cutest little thing. And
Yeah.
I bet on their little breeches it was sticking up from their little blue jeans that
Probably.
they could
And
see.
then he was like,
"That's right, Blue's Clues underwear on." Too.
sorry, that was a little
Blue's
rabbit
Clues
trail.
dated me again. Let me see. What would
It's your birthday.
Oh.
Blue's Clues was around when you
When
were
was
little.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
All right. So those are our two favorite icebreaker games.
Okay, that's true.
Let's move into, I'm not going to call it therapeutic games, but games, because we don't do therapy, we know that. But games that provide maybe a bigger purpose, that serve a bigger purpose.
Right.
Not just fun and games, if you will. Pass me the
boy.
beehive, would you?
Okay, because this is where it gets deep right here. If you're playing with the beehive, I am trying to
You
get
see that?
around without spilling the bees. So,
All right.
okay.
So
Still laughing at him. Okay, keep going.
this game, it's just fun in general. It's what's the name of this? The honeycomb tree. Honeycomb tree. For those of you who are
This is a
listening.
new one. Now, my kids have already played it,
Yeah.
and I've got a picture of their little hands all in it, so they couldn't wait to open the box and start playing it.
And so what you do is you pull out a leaf. For those of you who are listening and not watching, there are these leaves on about, 6 inches, a 6-inch stick again.
Yes.
And so you just keep pulling the leaves, and eventually, see, there was a bee that fell, but eventually all the bees are going to fall.
But it's falling into my,
Well, you are supposed to turn the tree.
oh, now it's in your spot?
Yeah. And now you turn it
So
back to
every
you.
time.
You turn it back to you. There you go. And so
Okay,
how
back
I
to
have used
you.
this.
Okay, I can't stop.
Yeah, I know. How I've used. Ooh. So as you heard, there were about 4 bees that fell out just then. I would have students tell me whatever issue we were dealing with. Like if a student came to me about anxiety in the classroom and 4 bees fell out, I might tell them ahead of time, okay, for every bee that falls in your area, tell me something that makes you feel anxious. And so then I'm starting to get the students' triggers. And I would say, for every leaf you pull out, tell me something you enjoy doing. And I actually used this with a student who was showing major signs of anxiety at school. And the teacher couldn't figure out what was going on because she was putting him in front of an iPad every morning when he got to school. But he was still just having a come apart. I don't know if y'all say that where you are, but come apart means
Breakdown.
yeah, he was
Meltdown.
having a meltdown. And whenever I was doing this with him and saying, okay, for every leaf you pull out, tell me something you enjoy doing, he never mentioned iPad or technology.
I love, when you told me that, I
Mhm.
loved that for finding out behavior reinforcements.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're kind of looking into that now and talking about that. And so I love figuring out what kids are getting to know, tell me something about
Yeah.
you, and every leaf you pull out or every bee that comes down. There's some things you could do with this.
Yes,
So
there
I
are.
love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Okay, so that's one of ours. Why don't you talk about giant Uno?
Oh, anything giant. Anything giant. And
Look
I'm
at
not just
this.
talking about her giant hair.
Oh,
Her
my
giant southern hair.
or my giant hands. These hands.
Tiny little hands. So my kids absolutely, I got these at TJ Maxx, and they weren't lot. But because they're giant, it makes it so much better.
And for those of you who are listening, these have got to be a foot long. Does it give us a
it is
measurement?
7.5 by 10, over 10 inches.
Okay.
So
Break them out of the box.
It's a regular Uno, but my kids love this. They're good for littles that their hands,
Yeah.
you know, and for
How
if you have
fun.
students with visual issues. But I tell you, my kids just think this is awesome because they're giant. I don't know. That's just.
Well,
I will say, and we said that we're going to talk
hang
about
on, let me see that.
okay, some more games, like, as we do podcasts.
Yeah, because this is just so much fun.
I
And
know.
we were going through our offices and looking for our favorite games. And since we do both love games so much, there were so many that we could have talked about, but your time is valuable. And we don't want to just
Absolutely.
drone on all day about games.
So we may throw some other games out throughout other podcasts. But I will say, and I told you this, the reason that this came up in my mind was I don't do a lot of yard sales at all, but in our community we have what's called a 10-mile yard sale. And our whole family, none of us are yard sellers, but on that day, we load up like the Beverly Hillbillies, and down the road we go. But with my main objective always is to find games, and that's where I actually, you got yours off Amazon, I think, Fibber.
No, I got mine at a consignment sale.
Okay, well
Yeah.
now people aren't going to know where to get them. I was hoping. But anyway, I got so many games that were not even opened at different places along that. So that may be something you don't have to spend a lot of money on, because games can be expensive if you have used all your classroom money up, as I have done. So, I mean, there were some of them were like brand new, never been opened. Really good games, and I'm excited to get those open. I don't have those out here, but I can't wait to get those opened to start playing those. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on games.
You don't. And just to go back to Uno for a second, one of my my favorite professor in college, Dr. Townsend, she talked about using Uno in your counseling sessions. And it's just another way to kind of get students to talk when they maybe feel closed off. Maybe they're not wanting to talk. And so you have the different color cards, but if you put down a red card, you can tell them, okay, as long as it's red, we're going to talk about things that make us feel angry. Okay, we're switching to blue. We're going to talk about things that make us feel sad, and just associate a feeling with the color. And then it becomes sort of a game.
Coping skills and dealing
skills
with your
game.
emotions.
You can talk about things that make you feel angry, and then you can switch it up. Maybe if there's a wild card, you can talk about, okay, we're going to reverse this now and talk about what makes us, like how we deal with that.
I love the way, so many different ways that you can, how you use them and how I use them and getting ideas. I would love to know how other people use just games that everybody may have. This is not a game everybody has.
No, this
It's
is
new to me.
This is called Pop the Pirate, and it comes with a bunch of different swords. So please, just
weapon.
Okay, put these little swords, these plastic colored swords, in the barrel. So for those of you listening, there's a little pirate stuck down in a barrel, and we are just poking swords in this hole. And eventually, well, I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Oh, I don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what color you're using.
Well,
every time. What is the deal with that? It's like an explosion. You get back up in there. That's
you
fun.
can either.
I've got to get this game.
It's
I think
fun.
my students would love this. And tell me, how do you use it?
Well, I would use it very similarly to
You're just going to
Uno.
Okay.
Where the
Colors.
okay, you broke it. Yeah, the colors mean different things, and so, and I would ask the students. I mean, I could stereotype. Let's do red for anger, but some of them might say red for love. But I would say, okay, we've got a blue sword. What do you want blue to represent? Mm-hmm. And they would tell me the emotion, and then we would just go with that. You could put all these swords in a pile, and as they pick one, okay, here I've got blue, and we decided that was something that makes me feel anxious. I would say birds. And that's
Oh.
a true story.
That is a true story, and I would say mice.
Okay.
That's cool. I
Yeah.
love this.
Yeah. So a great way to learn more about your kids, but also make it a bonding time, but a healing time too, I guess.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
I do want to talk about a book that I ordered.
Whoopsie.
There was a B. A book called Therapy Games by Alana Jones. I don't know. Anyway, in this book, and I did get this on Amazon, but she talks about different games like Apples to Apples, Jenga, Bananagrams, Scrabble, just lots of different games in this book and how to use them in a counseling session.
Cool.
Yeah. And I would highly recommend it for anyone that wants to sort of venture into using
Therapy
games.
games. Very good. And we'd like to know what games
You
are
yes,
using
what
and
games
how
do
do
you
you
play?
use them. This is a good on our Facebook or
Yes.
that would be.
Talk about it in our Facebook group. Tag us on Instagram in a picture. Maybe don't show us your kiddos, but show us your kiddos playing a game.
Or just tell us how you use
Yeah.
games. This is okay. This one is the fishing game. Do you remember the little
Yes.
fish that you would take
Yeah.
the fishing pole? I've got to get that game back out. So lots of fun.
And since you said that, I do want to say we did get a lot of our games. This came from Amazon. My Who Knew came from Amazon.
Uh-huh.
So we do get a lot of things off of Amazon.
I think the big game came
It
from
did.
Amazon. Mm-hmm.
But also check, like she said, yard sales. I check kids' consignment sales.
Very good.
And a lot of times, I mean, the game corner is always full.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And I went back to my mom's house and looked in the closet and started pulling out games that I used to play with. So maybe send out an email and ask teachers if there are any games that
that's something
they
that
don't
you
want
can
anymore.
get your hands on and have a
Yeah.
variety so that kids can choose from. I hope that you learned something. This was
I
fun.
did.
Nothing too heavy for my birthday.
Oh, I've got birthday presents.
Oh, she really does. I did not even notice that. I didn't notice that.
I find that hard to believe.
I didn't. I was putting kids in their cars, and she got here, and I didn't even see what you had. Two bags. Is this going to be personal?
You said you
Okay.
Okay. I should have wrapped it.
Oh.
Okay. Let me explain this.
Oh, okay. I got to get it turned around.
All right. It is
For everybody.
It's a Magnolia shirt. And anytime I see magnolias, I think of Kim. This is like our logo.
It is our logo.
And so it's special to me because she was the one that was like, "Oh, let's go with the magnolia because it's southern." Then it also makes me think about when we were first podcasting, we were amateurs, and now we're professionals.
We're podcasting. We're professionals.
But we dragged our podcast equipment all over this hotel that had magnolia trees, and so I think of that when I see
and
that.
we couldn't get any of the equipment to work.
It just didn't work.
So this is that's my favorite tree and smell, and you got the wrong size, so that's awkward because I need an extra.
That's what I told
small.
her. I told her extra small.
Sheesh, but I'll make it work.
You got more.
Oh,
Save your hug.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, yay!
I think it's got some crud on it down there
I'm
from my
hiding the
girls.
crud.
Okay. This is a book called Nobody's Cuter Than You, and my friend Holly told me about it, and it's the author goes through all of her different friendships that have been special to her throughout her lifetime, and so how could I not give that to one of my very best friends?
Oh, that is just so cool.
You're
And
going to
it's
love it.
A friend who loved you in spite of yourself. I love
and
that.
she does that to me.
We do
but
that for
it is
each other.
so, it is a fat laugh funny.
Oh,
book.
I cannot wait.
So,
I
yeah,
cannot
start
wait.
that.
You have made me so happy. A lot of thought into these presents. And I hope that all of you have a friend that you can laugh and have fun with and learn
That
and
celebrates your
grow.
birthday. My
and
only regret
makes
is
you
that
do
we
better in life. And
my only
pushes
regret is
you.
we didn't have cake.
Oh,
I don't
oh.
have cake.
oh,
I don't.
no, you really don't.
I really don't.
Oh,
Like you
well,
thought at that moment we were going to
forget
wheel something in.
I mean, you brought that crappy t-shirt, and there's no cake.
No cake.
Well, I will say I am on my way to my birthday party
Okay. And we are being told it's time to cut.
by my little boy who is making the flushing noises and is now doing this. He's the producer, if you will.
He is.
So I hope you've enjoyed this. I sure did.
I did too.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, another present?
No.
Okay.
Follow us on Instagram.
I'm going to quit this. I'm
Okay.
just stopping now.
And we have a Facebook group that we want you to join. Come and join our Facebook group. I should do that too. For those of you listening, we've added our fibber glasses. Come join our Facebook group because you belong there. Unless you don't want to be seen with the likes of us.
And then, who could blame you?
Yeah. Follow us on Teachers Pay Teachers. Is
That's
that it?
I don't know.
And just whatever. Just follow us.
Just follow us or whatever.
We'd love to follow you.